Hey guys, I'm back to do another Home Chef cook along, if you will. This is what we're having tonight. It's a chicken breast with saffron beurre blanc, roasted Brussels sprouts, and red bell peppers. If you watched my prior video, you know that I have a cold, and I still have a little bit of a cold, but I think it's better than last time. I have a little bit of prep to do. I don't know if you want to actually watch the chopping and all that. Maybe you can give me some feedback and let me know what you think about that. But these are all the ingredients that come with the meal. Chicken, red bell pepper, Brussels sprouts, there's a shallot. There's the saffron. Can you see it? There's just a couple little strands in there. Saffron's extremely expensive. Smoked paprika. Home Chef is one of the very few meal boxes that actually provides the butter. Some white wine. And a little thing of evaporated milk. I'm sure that's for the beurre blanc. Did I say chicken? There's chicken. So what I need to do is I need to trim in half the Brussels sprouts. Peel in half of the shallot, and then the other half into a dice. Cut up the red pepper, rinse the chicken, pat it dry, and season both sides with smoked paprika. So I don't know, that's a lot of chopping, I tell you what. For the purposes of this video, I'll pause it and I'll come back when it's all chopped. And you can let me know if you'd rather see it the long way. Here comes a pause. So here's where we are. Actually, let me fix this camera angle a little bit so you can see everything that's going on. So I trimmed and sliced my Brussels sprouts and put them on this tray. I cored and seeded and chopped up the red bell pepper and put it on this tray. And peeled the shallot and sliced half of it into little rings and put it on this tray. So this is all going to go in the oven and roast together along with the chicken. And here's the chicken. I've already dried it or washed it and dried it off and put the paprika and salt on it. And it wanted me to take a nonstick skillet and get it nice and hot. And it looks like we're about there. And let's see how much oil. 2 teaspoons, that looks pretty good. Add the chicken to the hot pan and cook until golden brown, 2 to 3 minutes per side. So I'm just going to give that a second to heat up, and then I'll put the chicken in there. And I forgot to mention that one thing I really like about Home Chef is everything comes kind of like a kit. So everything was in a bag until I pulled it out. And then I usually take this bag and fold over the top and use it for my trash. It just works for me. So let's see. Yeah, that feels pretty good. And I'm going to set a timer because I'm forgetful. I'll set it for 3 minutes for the first side. Should get paprika all over my timer. Okay, so in the meantime, this needs salt, pepper, and olive oil. There's my pepper. You know, I was well into my grown-up years before I ever tried Brussels sprouts. And we went to this fancy restaurant in Las Vegas. It was actually a Daniel Boulud restaurant that's no longer open. It was called Boulud. And my thing when I go to restaurants is I always ask the waiter, if I only come here once in my life, what should I order? And he said, oh, the short ribs, without a doubt. Okay, so I got the short ribs. Totally awesome. But here's the thing. The short ribs came with mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts. Well, I didn't like Brussels sprouts, so I got something else. And now that I like Brussels sprouts, I feel really bad about it. Like, what did I miss out on? And now I'll never be able to have that because that restaurant has closed. So, even though it was interesting to try these things, My mother is 79 years old and she has never eaten a Brussels sprout. So she's convinced she doesn't like them. So you know how that goes. Okay, another minute and a half on that side. I still need to, can you see me here? A little bit. I'm going to dice up this shallot down here. And I love that this whole meal goes in the oven. It's funny because, you know, I've tried a whole bunch of these. I've tried Tara's Kitchen, and I've tried HelloFresh, and I've tried Green Chef, and I've tried Home Chef, and I've tried Blue Apron. Well, so far the ones I like the best are Home Chef and HelloFresh, and they're kind of similar to each other in their approaches. But today I got an email from Blue Apron that said, "Hey, we miss you, come back. Here's $30 off." Well, you know, $30 off is a pretty good deal because you can use that on their $60 box and get 3 meals at $10 each. And I'm okay with that. We can't even eat fast food for that, and it's better food than that. But I went and looked, and first of all, they only gave me 6 meal choices, except they didn't really, because if I picked certain ones, other ones were grayed out. So in any given week, I could only get 2 meat-oriented dishes, and the third one would have to be like a vegetarian kind of dish. And that kind of honks me off. Home Chef gives me 8 or 10, maybe 12 different options for the meals, and they don't make me eat vegetarian. So I ended up signing up for Blue Apron for 1 week, but it was like 2 weeks into November before I could find a week that even looked good, looked halfway good. So I have this one and another Home Chef box to cook for you. Then I have another week of Home Chef that's arriving tomorrow. I'm a little behind because I've been sick. And then the following week will be HelloFresh. And then I need to fill the week after that. And then we'll have a Blue Apron week. So we have lots of things to cook together. But I really do like this one. And again, if you decide you want to sign up, it's very much appreciated if you go through the link in my comments below the video, because that'll give me more weeks of Home Chef to cook for you, with you. So in a couple more minutes, chicken's going to move over here. This is all going in the oven. The chicken does not have to be done because it'll continue cooking in the oven, and it'll be in there about 10 minutes. So yeah. Let's see. Looks like we can stick that in the oven and go right into making the sauce. And then we might pause for a few minutes because we'll have a little bit of dead time. And let's see what the tips it has. Looks like I should have used kosher salt. Oh well. For a smoother sauce, strain the shallot. I probably won't do that. Extract more flavor and color from the saffron by crumbling them between your thumb and forefinger as you add them to the beurre blanc. I'll do that. Okay, 8 seconds, so here we go. I've made a huge mess on my stove top. Okay, so I'm supposed to wipe the pan clean. Okay. Reserve the pan. Chicken will finish cooking in a later step. I'm going to grab some paper towels. Yeah, I'm just going to move my trash over here closer. I almost hate to wipe it totally clean because it has all that yummy chicken in the bottom, but we'll just follow the instructions and do what it says. So this is going in the oven, and I'll set the timer for 10 minutes. And just because I can't stand it, I need to clean up some of this grease. But I tell you what, I'll make the sauce on the burner closer to you so you can see me do it. Okay, so let's see. Start the sauce. Return the pan used to sear the chicken to medium heat. Okie dokie. Add a ½ teaspoon olive oil, diced shallots, saffron, and white cooking wine to the hot pan, and cook until reduced by half, 1 to 2 minutes. Where did I put that wine? There it is. Okay. Let me make sure you can see what I want you to see. Let's just move it down a little bit. And that's a nice gentle cooking. I don't want it to go crazy and burn my shallots. And saffron. I actually have some saffron in my cabinet, but what was funny is I picked out a recipe to use it in, and then I couldn't figure out what the recipe was anymore, so it's still in my cabinet. Come on out, boys. Man, is there anything that smells better than wine and shallots or garlic cooking? I love that smell. There's one tiny little string that's still up in there. We don't want to miss any because there's not a lot. Okay. Evaporated milk will be next, and the butter. This is my Danish can opener because my husband is from Denmark and he hates all automatic can openers. So we ordered this from a special Danish website. And it does work well. But I have to admit, if I have to do a lot of cans, I make him do it because it's his fault. I'm just going to let those shallots get a little more tender. I think if I did this over again, I would probably leave the butter in the fridge. And by the way, if you do Home Chef and you see a recipe that is pork loin with a fig jam sauce, it's wonderful. Definitely get that. I will get it every time I see it. Add the evaporated milk and simmer until slightly thickened. 1 to 2 minutes. Got 5.5 minutes left on our stuff that's in the oven. It seems like a pretty short amount of time for the Brussels sprouts. I may cook those a little longer because usually I like them not burnt, but a little bit crispy. Almost like the outer leaf is burned, and then I like to pull that one off. That's exactly how I like them. And does this sauce not get salt? Interesting. Okay, no salt in the sauce. That's a surprise, actually. I'll have to taste it before I plate it up. So the thing I'll be cooking tomorrow is a healthy orange chicken recipe. Looked pretty good, but tonight we wanted more of a meal and less of a salad. And then I don't remember what's coming in this week's box, but it'll be here tomorrow. I'll do an unboxing and we'll check it out. And I'd like to thank the one person who commented on my first cooking video. It kind of reminds me, have you ever seen that movie, That Thing You Do, when they're like, we have a fan. Is that our fan? So I really appreciate that. And I should also say, just as a reminder, Home Chef has not asked me to do these videos. As far as I know, they don't even know I'm doing them. I'm just a fan of theirs. Slightly thickened. You see the little saffron swimming around in there. I thought it would color the sauce a little more than it has. You know, you get thick. Although I have to admit, in the picture, it doesn't really look very thick at all. I've never made a beurre blanc, so I'm not really certain. I have to crack open some cookbooks to find out how thick it's supposed to be. But just from the ingredients that we have here, it doesn't sound like it needs to be very thick. Minutes over there, so I think we're good here. I just need to remove this from the heat, and since the other burner is already hot, I'm just going to move it up here. Butter makes everything better, right? This was an incredibly easy meal. It's kind of awesome that way. This would be easy to replicate too on my own. And since Home Chef gives you how much you need of each ingredient, but they make it very easy for you. Let's see. There you go. Make it very easy for you to do this again on your own. I'm still a little suspicious of this no salt thing. You know, it may need a little bit, but not much. It has a lot of flavor. It's kind of a, well, a buttery, milky, shalloty flavor. I don't get the saffron at all. And it hasn't changed the color of the sauce, so I'm not really certain that that did a whole lot. And I guess to be fair, it does look like there's sauce on the cover here. You can see the saffron in there, but the sauce is still the same color. So maybe the awesome thing is when you take a bite. I don't know. So the instructions say that when the timer goes off, which is now, playing that just right, I'm supposed to see if the chicken's done, and then the vegetables might go in for longer. And that's my suspicion. I am going to can kind of tell when the chicken is done. So, where's my tongs? You never have too many cutting boards. So pulling the chicken off. And I'm putting the vegetables back in for another 5 minutes. And I'll come back and talk to you then. Okay, so here we are. It turned out that I needed to put the vegetables back in the oven for a full 10 minutes more than the recipe said. But I can smell them now. I think they're done. But that meant that the sauce was made way too early. So I put it back on very lowest heat and just kind of kept it moving, because if I didn't keep it moving, it developed a skin on top. And here we go. We have Fiesta ware, so it's always a little bit of a crapshoot as to what color plates you'll get. Where did my cup holder go? This is a lot closer to how I like my Brussels sprouts, but maybe even a little more. And then I'm just going to pour the sauce on the chicken side. So there we go. Chicken breast with saffron beurre blanc with roasted Brussels sprouts and red pepper from Home Chef. Thanks for watching.